So Nana, let's talk about the family tree a little bit. So I was fortunate enough to meet your father, Zaida. But so Zaida and my great grandmother, they lived in New York, I assume. That's where you're from.
Yes, in Brooklyn.
And then their parents came over from Europe?
Well, their parents, my mother's parents came from Europe. My father's mother came over from Europe, not his father, but a grandmother came.
So your mother's parents, what was their last name?
Judenfreund, that's what our family circle was.
Okay, and then obviously your father's side was Finkelstein.
Yes.
Okay. Can you go back any further than your grandparents?
I don't think so. How far back would that be?
I don't know. Is there anything I don't know if there's any relatives that you know further back than that.
All my relatives were brought here when I was young, 6 years old, up to maybe 7 or 8. They were brought here and became American citizens, went into business as they made a little money. They all worked very hard. It was not easy. As soon as they were able to, they went to Williamsburg in Brooklyn, and each and every one of them bought a home, whether it was 2 families or 3 families to help pay the rent or the mortgage, as you called it. But everybody owned their own property. And they prospered. They never became rich to a degree that they'd be noticeable, but they did well. They had a good life here.
What was your parents' family business?
My father was a coat and suit manufacturer. He had his own business, his own factory, his own employees, and he ran quite an operation. He was well respected. When he went to the bank and he had to write Joseph Finkelstein, the first 3 letters of Joseph were J-E-E. The bank accepted that as Joseph, and he also butchered Finkelstein, but it was accepted in the bank because that's what his signature was listed as, exactly the way he wrote it. But he was successful, and I think I mentioned before we lived in a 1-family house in Brooklyn.